Hi guys, here we are with another recipe. Today it is chicken arrabbiata and Parmesan dumplings. This stew is a really different take on stew and dumplings with the classic tomato alla arrabbiata and Parmesan dumplings, warming and yummy. Quite a few ingredients in this one. This is olive oil, an onion finely sliced, chicken thighs, garlic cloves, chilli sauce or chilli flakes, sun-dried tomatoes chopped, chicken stock, tinned tomatoes, thyme, sugar and some parsley to garnish. And for the dumplings you'll need unsalted butter, self-raising flour, parmesan, dried or grated, and some milk. I did this recipe a little while ago but thought, hey, let's upload it now because it's a cold night and this is a really warming dinner. Right, first thing you do is give your onion to your hubby and get him to peel and slice it as thinly as he can. I've also taken the chicken out the fridge and let it breathe. Right, just adding some of this olive oil into my non-stick pan. This is just a reasonable priced olive oil from Asda. It's really good actually. Right, so just turn up the heat and get the pan heated. Ready for my onions. Right, also get your oven pan out ready. That's where I went off to get. This is my enamel one with a lid. This is great. It will go straight into the oven at the last part of this recipe. When you've put your dumplings in, there's my onions. Right, put them in and cook them until they start to become soft and translucent. I'll just get my spoon. There you go. Give that a stir, get them covered in the olive oil and start getting them cooked. Right, these are chicken thighs. They have skins on and they have the bone in, which is fine. And what I'll do is when the onions are ready, I will add my chicken thighs into the pan, and guess what I'll add with them? Yes, it will be seasonal. Now, quick tip here, add your chicken thighs in skin down to start with, because then that will start to brown the skins. And then as you stir and add more ingredients, if they turn over, that's fine. Start browning the other side and then turn them back over with the skins down again. You really want to get the skin brown and slightly going crispy around the edges before you turn them over. So just arrange them into my pan. This pack of thighs had 9 pieces in it actually. There goes the seasonal. Anyone who visits this channel know I won't cook hardly anything without it. And there you go, I'll give it a stir. And some of the chicken has turned over while I was stirring. So I'll just flip them back over again, like I said, so they are skinned down. Right, that's now broken down lovely and started to brown. I'm going to add my usual dollop of garlic paste. Right, in this dish is the thyme and the sugar. Brings out the sweetness in any kind of tomatoes, be it tinned or fresh. So I'm putting that in there now. Give it all a stir. Right, to that I'm adding 250 ml of chicken stock. There's a stock cube I dissolved in boiling water. Then I added 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. Give that a stir. Like all my recipes, a lot of stirring. That is 10 sun-dried tomatoes chopped. and then a bit of Mexican chili hot sauce, which isn't actually hot, just very flavourful. My son bought this back from Florida for me, and sorry about that, my tripod decided to fall over. There you go. So I'm going to give that all a stir in, and then I'm going to put a lid on and let it simmer on a low heat, about 3.5 for about 40 minutes. In the meantime, I shall start getting all the bits ready to do the dumplings. So in this bowl I have the 80 grams of butter, unsalted butter or low fat spread, whichever you prefer, and 150 grams of self-raising flour. Get your hands in and rub it together between your fingertips until the mixture resembles breadcrumbs. I always remember this bit at school. There you go. There's the breadcrumbs. Now add in 80 grams of Parmesan cheese, dried or grated, and add in about a tablespoon of parsley. And the easiest way to mix this is with a knife. So you'll need about 50 to 60 mils of milk, any kind of milk, whatever you use. But when you add it in, don't add it all in, leave about 10 mils back. And then use your knife to mix it together. Now, if it's too dry, add a little bit more milk. If it's too wet, just add a tablespoon of flour. Don't add too much, it will completely change the texture of the dumplings. Now as you mix it together with your knife, you'll start to know when all the milk has been sucked up by the flour. So then you put your knife down and get your hands in and bring it together until it's in a ball. You can see it's coming together, so I know I've added perfect amount of liquid. And then you need to, just for about a minute, give it a knead until it becomes a nice smooth dough. If you're using gluten-free flour, the best idea to do is to add a teaspoon of gluten-free baking powder, because the kneading is what brings the gluten together, and in gluten-free flour you'll miss that bit, so you'll need a bit of baking powder just to make sure they will rise a little. And then I'm going to cover it in cling film in the bowl, put it to one side until my chicken and tomato mixture has cooked. Right, now that has cooked and it has become a nice thick stew. Oh, the smells amazing. Right, get your oven pan and tip that in, as you can see I've done. Then get your dough. Now you need to make 8 dumplings, so I'll break it into 4, then I'll break 2 and then into 4 and then into 8. Just make them more of an even size without having to weigh them. And then make them into a ball in your hand, just to make sure you've brought it all together, nothing crumbly there. And then flatten them slightly. And then lay them on top of the stew, just for a second, because once you've put them all on top of the stew, I turn them over so the other side is coated in the tomato sauce, and that way when they go crispy in the oven, you get a crispy tomato sauce topping on top of your dumplings. There's a couple more to go. Now, place this in your oven for around 20 minutes without the lid on until they go a nice golden crispy brown on top. Oven's best at 200 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees Celsius for your fan, or gas mark 6. You can see when you turn over they're now a tomatoey goldeny colour, if there's such word as tomatoey goldeny. Right, and in the oven they'll go. Like magic, they just appeared cooked, and there you go. There's the dumplings all crispy and golden brown on the top, and a nice thick tomato chicken stew underneath. Thanks very much for joining me, and see you tomorrow.